Hello, welcome to our channel. In this video, we will look at some examples of solving quadratic equations by using formula. So here is the formula for solving quadratic equations. If you have equation ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0, then x is simply negative b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. So let's look at some examples of how we can apply this formula. So here is our first example. We are given x squared plus 49 equals 0. To apply this formula, the first step is to try to identify a, b, and c. A is the coefficient of x squared like we have here. So in this case is 1 because we have 1 x squared. B is the coefficient of x like we have here. Here we don't have any x term, so we can treat this function as having 0x. So b is 0 and c is the constant term. So c is 49. Okay, so now we are ready to apply this formula. We have x equals, we have negative b over here, so negative 0 plus or minus square root of b square, which is again 0 square minus 4ac. So 4 times a is 1 times c is 49. We have square root of this, divide by 2a, 2 times 1. So now we have the formula set up. We just need to simplify this little further. So negative 0 is 0, so we don't have to worry about that. Then we have plus or minus square root of 4 times 49. 0 square minus 4 times 49, which is 196. For negative 196. And divide by 2 in the denominator. 2 times 1 is 2 in the denominator. So this becomes plus or minus. Since we have square root of negative, we can write this as 196i, because whenever we are doing square root of a negative number, we get an imaginary number, so which is denoted by I, divide by 2. Now square root of 196 is simply 14, so this becomes plus or minus 14 by 2i. 14 by 2 is 7, so this is plus or minus 7i. So we have two solutions, 7i and negative 7i. So we have solved this equation using the formula. Let's look at the next example now. Here we want to solve 12x squared plus 6x equals 0. Again, the first step is to identify a, b, and c. So a is the coefficient of x squared, which is 12. B is the coefficient of x, which is 6. And c is the constant term, which we don't have any over here. So c is 0. Now we are ready to apply this formula. So x equals negative b over here, so negative 6, plus or minus square root of b squared, 6 squared, minus 4ac, 4 times a is 12, times c is 0. Divide by 2a, 2 times 12. Okay, so we have the formula set up. Now we just need to simplify this as far as we can. So negative 6 as it is, plus or minus square root of 6 squared minus 4 times 12 times 0. So that part becomes 0. So we are left with just 6 squared, which is 36. Divide by 24. 2 times 12 is 24 in the denominator. Negative 6 plus or minus 6 is what we get on the top. Divide by 24. We can simplify this further if we separate plus or minus. So when we consider positive, when we consider plus sign here, we get negative 6 plus 6 divided by 24. And when we consider the negative sign, we get negative 6 minus 6 divided by 24. The first one, negative 6 plus 6 is 0. 0 over 24 is 0. The second one, negative 6 minus 6 is negative 12. Negative 12 by 24 is negative 1/2. We have these two solutions. We're done with this example. Let's look at the next one now. Here we have x squared minus 3x equals negative 18. Now to apply this formula, the first step is to write in this format. That means we must have 0 on the right side. So add 18 to both sides. We get x squared minus 3x plus 18 equals 0. Now we identify a, b, and c. So a is the coefficient of x squared, which is 1. B is the coefficient of x, which is negative 3 in this case. And c is the constant term, which is 18. We got a, b, c. Now we are ready to apply the formula. We have negative b, which is negative 3, because b is negative 3, plus or minus square root of b squared. So negative 3 squared minus 4ac. A is 1 times c is 18. Divide by 2a, 2 times 1 in the denominator. So let's try to simplify this as far as we can. So we get 3 over here, plus or minus square root of, so let's simplify whatever we have under the square root. So we have negative 3 squared, which is 9, minus 4 times 18. That gives us negative 63. Divided by 2. We can simplify this a little bit more. So we have 3 plus or minus. And since we have square root of negative number, this we can write as square root of 63 times I, since this is an imaginary number. So this divided by 2. Now the last step, if you like, we can separate the imaginary and real part. So we have 3 by 2 plus or minus square root of 63 by 2i. We have these two solutions, 3 by 2 plus square root of 63 by 2i, and 3 by 2 minus square root of 63 by 2i. We're done with this example. Next, we want to solve 4x squared equals 4x minus 9. Again, the first step is to try to write it in this format. Ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. So subtract 4x from both sides. We get 4x squared minus 4x here. And add 9 to both sides. We get plus 9 here. On this side, we'll be left with 0. So once you have that, we can identify a, b, and c. A is 4, the coefficient of x squared. B is the coefficient of x, which is negative 4. And c is 9, the constant term. Now we are ready to apply this formula. So we get x equals negative b, which will be negative 4 plus or minus square root of b squared. So negative 4 squared minus 4ac. 4 times a is 4 times c is 9. Divided by 2a, 2 times 4. So this will give us the value of x. Now we just need to simplify. We have 4 over here, plus or minus, and under the square root, we can put all that in our calculator. So we have negative 4 squared, which is 16, minus 4 times 9. That gives us negative 128. And we have 8 in the denominator. So we get 4 plus or minus square root of 128i. Since we have square root of negative number, we can write it this way. Divide by 8. And we can try to simplify this little further. Well, first we can split this into real and imaginary part. So the real part is 4 by 8 plus or minus square root of 128 by 8i. We can see if we can simplify. The first, this 4 by 8 is simply 1/2 plus or minus, and we can see if we can simplify square root of 128. Well, 128 is 2 to 7. So that means we have 7 2's over here. When you do the square root of 128, it will be square root of 227. So out of 6 2's, we can take 3 of them out. So we get 2 cubed square root of 2. So 8 is square root of 2. So this will be 1 square root of 128 will be 8 square root of 2 divided by 8 and I as it is. So this becomes 1/2 plus or minus square root of 2i. These are the solutions. All right, so we are done with this example, and this is all we have put together in this video. Thank you for watching.